Our next AI showdown topic is maybe the one that has the most progress in the past few months. So, while since the end or from the Q4 of 2024, we have seen incredible significant progress across the board with AI, with introduction of reasoning models and then mixed models and better agent capabilities from multiple providers around the world. One area has really exploded in capabilities, mostly going from something that was cool and maybe a geeky thing to do at the end of 2024, and now is at production level on many different aspects in 2025. And that area is AI video. So before that, still in 2023 and 2024, a lot of people started creating AI video, like our guest today. But the problem was it was almost impossible to get consistent results, to get the same characters, to get the same feel, to get the same look, to get different angles, to control the camera, to have the same product in the featured video from different angles. And when you try to create videos for business, that is a necessity, nothing short of that. And all of that has changed in 2025. It started with the introduction of Sora at the end of 2024 in the whatever it was, 12 days of Christmas from OpenAI. But there's all the other amazing tools that made amazing progress in the past 6 months, including Minimax and Runway and Kling, and obviously the VO family with VO2 and now VO3 from Google. And if you haven't watched any VO3 videos, you probably weren't on YouTube in the past couple of weeks. But all these tools are amazing and they all have pros and cons and things they do great and things they don't do so well. And so learning which use cases you should use different tools for is a necessity at this point, just like more or less everything else with AI. Now we're going to explore this with the help of Tianyu, who grew up in actually data and research fields with highly structured approach to processes and building success, and switched to becoming one of the leading AI video creators and educators, at least on LinkedIn. I follow everything he does. He shares incredible insights on different video tools and how he's using them and what's the process in each one. And his combination of structured approach to success combined with his amazing creativity makes him the perfect person to learn AI video from. And hence, I'm very excited to have him as the person to share this with us. He was also a guest of the show back before. So Tianyu, welcome back to the Leveraging AI show.
Thank you so much, Isa. It's a pleasure to be back.
I'm really excited about this because I double with video, but it's not the core thing that I do. I mostly work with businesses on data and infrastructure and setting up processes. And so I'm personally very excited to learn everything that you have to share.
Sure. Where should we start? Maybe I can give an overview of the key methods of AI videos, and then we can compare the top models and just use a few examples. And then
Sounds like a good plan.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so when you talk about AI videos, AI has been there in the videos for decades. But what makes the real difference is that it's generative AI, because right now you can just generate a video with just talking to an AI model. You just need to give the prompt or give an image or give an existing video to generate a new video. And this is something that does not require a lot of technical knowledge, or you don't even have to be a filmmaker to make these videos. So that is something that truly empowers almost everyone who wants to express themselves creatively using AI. So I think the video is something video is actually the most exciting technology in AI this year. And the key method for AI video is text to video. It means that all the video models are based on prompts. So you need to give a text description, describe the movement of camera, describe the subject, the setting, the context, and describe the movement, the actions, and then you will have the video. So that is text to video. Then there's also another method called image to video, which means your input is one or two images. So you upload an image and then give it a short prompt, or give it a camera setting. You can make the image move. Just like animation, you just animate the image. This is image to video. Then the last method is video to video. So basically, your input is a video. For example, you can upload a black and white film made 100 years ago, and then convert it to a color film. So that is video to video. You can also upload my talking video and change my face to a cat. That's also video to video. So these are the key methods. Of course, there are others like AI avatar, or a lot of special VFX effects that you can also do with generative AI. But today, I just want to focus on two key methods. One is text to video, and the other is image to video.
Fantastic. Yeah, one more thing to add to image to video, just to enhance, and I'm sure there's going to be examples, but just to let people know, when it comes to image to video, we started with all the models with a starting image as the starting point of the video. And over time, we got two additional additions. One is ending frame, so you can tell it where to end. So the image you load is the final frame of the video instead of the initial frame of the video, which has its benefit. And now you can actually do that. And now in some of the tools, there's even keyframes. You can add more images along the way to have more of a artistic control over the flow of how the whole video is going to work, because you give it hints where it needs to go in different time frames. But that's all I want to add. And now really let's dive into examples and talk on how it's done and best practices and the differences between the tools.
Sure. Let me share my screen.
And for those of you who are listening to this as a podcast after, first of all, this is going to be available on our YouTube channel, and there's a link to that on the show notes. So you can jump there right now if you're not driving or something like that. But we're also going to share everything that's on the screen so you can understand what we're looking at.
Fantastic. So I'm sharing my screen now. What you are seeing is Gemini. I'm inside the Gemini app. So basically, I want to first show you the different results from Veo 3 in image to video. And then I'll move on to I'll use the exact same prompt across different video models, and then we can compare the results, right? So this was actually inspired by the Yeti on TikTok and on YouTube. I don't know who started this trend, but now it's so popular. If you go to YouTube Shorts or TikTok, you'll see Yeti vlogs everywhere. So inspired by this, I added my cat character inside the same Yeti setting. So here, within Gemini 2.5 Pro, and then if you click on video, you can generate video directly on Gemini. So this requires at least a Google AI Pro account, which is $20 a month, or Ultra account, that is $200 a month. Yeah, so I'm using Pro in this case. You can generate about 3 videos per day using Veo 3, but that is a fast mode. So these videos are Veo 3 fast mode. Veo 3 also have a full mode, which is the most professional version, which I will show you after this. So the fast mode is 5 times cheaper than 80% cheaper than the full mode. And then here, this is a prompt. A key benefit of Veo 3 compared to the other video models is that it integrates everything. So the other video models gives you moving the motion, the image, the movements, but Veo 3 gives you the sound, the dialogue, the ambient noise. So all the things you can include in the prompt. So I'll start with the setting, shot on the professional camera in a reality food show. So this is the style of the film, which is a professional camera in a reality food show. And then I talk about the character, a white cat with blue eyes, dressed in yellow apron. And the action of the character is massaging a soft, round-shaped doll next to a real Yeti dressed in black apron, shredding cheese on a cheese grater. So this is the scene. And then you can also add in camera movements. For example, the camera pushes in and focuses on cat's face. Then the cat says, "Welcome to the Kitty Yeti show." Then the camera then pans to focus on the Yeti. The Yeti says, "Let's cook pizza together, yoo-hoo." Okay, so this is something, you can only do this in Veo 3. And let me show you the result.
Welcome to the Kitty Yeti show. Let's cook pizza together, yoo-hoo. Welcome to the Kitty Yeti show. Let's cook pizza together, yoo-hoo. Welcome to the...
Okay, it's quite impressive, right?
Yeah. Again, for those of you who are not seeing, like the only thing I got a little different from the prompt and what's the actual reality. So the reality looks like a reality show. You see a cat playing with a dough, and you see the Yeti grating cheese, and the Yeti is the one saying everything other than the meow in the middle. I thought the cat is going to say the first thing and the Yeti is going to say the second thing, but other than that, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's the point I want to get into, because we are using the fast mode, which is a cheaper version of the model. So the cheaper version of the model takes less compute than the full model. Yeah, that's why not everything has been fully
It's
rendered.
still amazing, by the way, but it's
it's still okay. And then I want to show you the same prompt on the full model. Unfortunately, I already exhausted all my credits on Gemini for the full model, but I have some credits on OpenArt, which is is actually one of the best aggregators of all the AI models. So within OpenArt, you can also choose Veo 3, and then this is the video we got.
Welcome to the Kitty Yeti show. Let's cook pizza together, yoo-hoo. Welcome to the Kitty Yeti show. Let's cook pizza together, yoo-hoo.
Yeah, you see the difference?
Yes. Even the voices are, like the cat voice is incredible. It's actually making it sound like a cat.
Welcome to the Kitty Yeti show.
Yes. It sounds like a real cat.
Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah, and it also follows my prompt closely, right? And then we talk about, in the prompt, we have the camera pushes in and focuses the cat's face. Then the cat says, "Welcome to the Kitty Yeti show," exactly as I have shown in the prompt.
Yeah.
Then the camera pans to focus on the Yeti. Then the Yeti talks. So that is something quite amazing, I found. Yeah. So following this, I want to show you the limitations. Although I think Veo 3 is the best in text to video at the moment, as of today. Maybe tomorrow it will not be the.
Yeah.
But there are still a lot of limitations of text to video. So it means that it's quite difficult to keep a consistent character. So the next time when you use the same prompt, you might generate a different cat, a different Yeti. So for example, I continued this story, and in the next prompt, within the same Gemini, I said, so everything maintained the same except the actions. So the Yeti comes to the frame and then drops a pile of sliced pineapple onto the pizza. And then the Yeti says, "Don't forget the pineapple." And the cat says, "Yes, that's the real pizza." Okay, and then we have the video here.
Oh, don't forget the pineapple.
Yes, that's the real pizza.
Oh, don't forget the pineapple.
Okay, so the characters are not really the same.
Yeah.
So that's the limitation.
The cat is very close, but the Yeti looks different, and their voice is different too.
Yes. Then the next one I continued. Every day you can create 3 videos, so I just generate 10. The next one is the final piece. So they are eating.
By the way, again, for those of you who are not watching the screen, the beginning 2/3 of the prompt is exactly the same, right? It's a shot of a professional camera in a reality show, setting, scene up, close up, a real white cat, like all of that stayed the same, like the original prompt. And then just the last section changes what's actually happening in that particular scene.
Yes, in this way, you can at least maintain a high level of consistency in the style and in the setting. But character consistency is still not that fantastic if you're using text to video method. So this is the last video. In the last video, I have both the cat and Yeti happily eating the slices of pineapple pizza. And then the Yeti turns to the cat and says, "This is the best pizza I've ever had." Then the cat finishes the bite and says, "Haha, you should try durian pizza next time." All right, so then we have the video here.
This is the best pizza I've ever had.
You should try durian pizza next time.
This is the best pizza I've ever had.
You should try durian pizza next time.
I like the sound. I like the ambient noise, the sound of them eating. That's the best, better than the voice. Yeah. So again, you can see that the character has changed. The Yeti becomes more like a CGI instead of the realistic Yeti.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you use I generated the same videos using the same prompt with the full Veo 3 mode, OpenArt, and here we have the results. This is the second prompt.
Oh, don't forget the pineapple.
Yes, that's the real pizza.
Oh, don't forget the pineapple.
Yes, that's the real pizza.
Okay, so this is more realistic, right?
Yeah.
More realistic than the fast mode. All right. So in the interest of time, I will move on to image to video.
Okay.
But before that, let me show you the legendary Sora, because I don't think it's anywhere near. Yeah. So this is the text to video on Sora. As you can see, it almost never followed my prompt.
Yes, and the video is not consistent, and the stuff is turning around into a dough turning into grated cheese. Like it's not, and the cat is not dressed. It just looks like a cat.
Yeah, I wouldn't use Sora for most use cases now because there's no point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, but I would use Sora for image generation. So essentially, this is GPT 4.0 image model inside Sora. It's the same with ChatGPT. I used it a lot. It's my default image model because it has the best prompt adherence, means that it listens to you almost everything. You can generate almost anything you can in your prompt. And also it works naturally within ChatGPT and within Sora. And you can even prompt with your natural language with complex grammar, complex structure. Yeah. So here I generated these images for image to video because I want to maintain a consistent character in all the videos. So we have one image of the cat and Yeti in the first scene, and I also generated the same images for the other scenes.
Yeah.
And the next step is to upload these images into AI video models and then compare the results. So if you can maintain the consistency of the characters in your storyboard or across all the images, then when it comes to videos, it's quite easy to maintain the same level of consistency. Yeah, so that's how most of the AI videos in the market on social media are made.
So just to connect the dots for people while you're opening the example, the VO3 still does not have image to video. VO2 does have image to video, and all the other tools have image to video, but VO3 still does not have that functionality. VO3 was just released 2 weeks ago, and so I'm sure they will add that functionality sometime soon. Like Tianyu said, maybe by the time you're listening to the podcast, it will be added, but right now it does not have that capability.
Maybe it's available, but actually it is available on Google Flow. There's frame to
they're $250 a month creative solutions. Yeah.
But even if you can use it, it doesn't support sound. So the sound.
Oh, so you pick one or the other.
Yeah, sound. No, the sound is the best part of Veo 3,
Yeah.
but no. Yeah, okay. Let's come back to the image to video. For image to video, across all the tools, I think if you have no time at all to learn about this, if you have no time to try all the AI video tools or all the AI video models, the only model you should use is Kling 2.1 because it works for almost everything. Okay, so I'm going to show you this. I'm here inside Kling. I just want to make sure that my screen is clean. I'm sharing so I'm sharing this screen and already generated the images, the videos from the images I generated on ChatGPT, on Sora. So as you can see here, there's also sound, but no dialogue.
And the sound is not as realistic. But again, for those of you not watching, the video is amazing. Like it follows the same like character from the images that were created, and the cat is doing the dough, and the Yeti is grating cheese, and it zooms in on the grated cheese. It actually looks really realistic.
Yeah, and it's amazing. It's listen to your prompt maybe 80% of the time, and then just so smooth. And the next one is adding pineapple to the pizza. Okay, so we have it here. And some extra pineapple.
Lots of pineapple.
In the prompt, although they can't talk, I wrote in the prompt, the Yeti talks and the cat talks. They're talking to each other. So this is something I think we just need to manually add some conversations, manually add the voice, and then it will look perfect. Although
Kling for people has a lip sync function, right?
Yes.
Can you add it to these characters as well, or it only knows how to do humans?
Most tools only work. Most tools have the lip sync for humans, but very few can do animals. So the only tool outside of Veo 3 that does good lip syncing for animals is Higgsfield.
Interesting.
So Higgsfield also work for cats. Yes.
Okay, so now we know VO generates amazing voice and sound. If you use the more advanced mode, it's going to cost you more, but it generates even better consistency. And we see that for image to video, then Kling works great. I must admit that still the movement and realism of the video on VO3 looks better, but from a consistency perspective, you still have the problem because you cannot use the image to start with.
Yes, that's right. Image to video is almost the only way if you want to create a story with consistent characters.
Yeah.
And then I want to show you a few others. Another interesting tool is Hailuo. This is text to video. So it's Minimax Hailuo, and the text to video, I use the exact same prompt on here. And you can see that the videos are actually pretty precise. Although it's not a realistic video, they are 3D characters of the cat and Yeti doing exactly as I told them to do.
Yeah, and the camera movement focuses on the face of the one and then the other. So from a control over the scene, it's very accurate.
Yeah, and then again, it also works with text to with image to video. So in the prompt, you can set up the camera movement, and yeah.
But again, we can see here from a realism perspective, even though the characters look closer to what you started, they kind of like the physics of the world is not accurate, which was one of the problems in the older models, where in this case, the pineapple shows up out of thin air from the Yeti's hand and so on. So it's still not in the level of Kling and or Sora like we've seen before. That looks a lot more realistic.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. And I think Hailuo does the 2D or 3D animation quite well, but not the realistic scenes.
Got it.
Yeah. Another model that I want to show you is Luma Ray 2. I think Luma Ray 2 is the best model for many subjects And even for the catch scenes, it's comparable to Clean to Clean 2.1. It's comparable to Clean 2.1, and you can see the results of the same image to video.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah, it's hyper realistic. But sometimes you get some random stuff, right?
Yeah.
Occasionally
Yeah.
there are random stuff.
So again, I think from what we're seeing so far, from a realistic physics perspective, like the universe behaves like the universe we know, VO is still number one. Con Maintaining consistent characters is a limitation, which again, I think is going to be solved. And then Kling is number one when it comes to creating videos from images that if you want to keep consistent characters. And then the other ones are not bad, but has morphing faces, morphing pizzas, weird things showing up in the middle of the frame, and issues with the physics of them. So again, but there's other use cases other than realistic videos where these tools might actually shine.
Yeah, that's right. And if you compare with the price, obviously Veo 3 is way more expensive than the others. It's 5 times more expensive than any other top model. But I think that the direction is that the models are getting more powerful but more affordable. If you compare Clean 2.1 with Clean 2.0, they even reduce the price. So the new 2.1 Pro for Clean only costs a fraction of the 2.0. So that's a good direction. And I only showed you the results from 2.1. I haven't even shown you the results from the most advanced Clean, the high compute version of Clean model yet. But I think they're already pretty impressive.
Yeah. Okay. Any other examples?
I think that, yeah, that's all for tonight.
Yeah, awesome. So I think my final question is, you touched a little bit on the structure of the prompt, right? You talked about how it needs to be done in order to have the scene, the character, the action, the camera movement, like all these kind of things described. But then you showed a tool that is an aggregator, and I know a lot of people don't know these tools. So let's talk about that in 2 seconds, and then I'll let you go. So what kind of aggregator exists today? What are the benefits of using them versus using the individual tools? And because I think that's going to help people who want to get into this, that makes it a lot easier, I think.
Yeah, that's right. So you can think about the tools developed by AI companies like ChatGPT and Gemini. So they're developed by the AI companies. And then the aggregators are like Perplexity. So they have all the models, all the best models optimized for some specific features. But in the AI video space, a lot of aggregators are actually quite useful because they integrate not only the best AI video models, but also the image models so that you can have everything in one place. And the biggest benefit is convenience. And you can even build your own workflow or train your own custom model within these tools. But then the benefit of the original tools owned by the AI companies like Kling or Gemini or Google Flow is that the price of generating videos are slightly cheaper because they are the wholesaler, they're not the retailer.
Yeah.
And also these companies often launch new features, the best features on their own apps first before even releasing the API. So if you want to learn the best features, the latest features, and test on the latest on your projects, I think you should go for the tools owned by the AI companies. But if you want something to scale your production or something, or if you just want convenience, then you can opt for the aggregators.
Awesome. Some name of the aggregators. So you mentioned one that you use.
So the one I'm showing is OpenArt, and there are also others like FreePic,
FreePic, Krea. These are the
AI.
three that I know.
And also, I forgot to mention, there are also a lot of online workflow tools that make it much easier for you to build your own workflow from a prompt, from an idea to a complete video. For example, you can use Flora AI, or Weave AI.
Weavy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they also they also allow you to connect to different large language models and then image models and then video models and create your workflows. Yeah, they are quite powerful now.
Yeah. Tianyu, thank you. This was a great walkthrough. I think it gives a lot of people a lot of examples that be food for thought on how they can develop their own stuff. I really appreciate taking the time and being with us and sharing your knowledge with all of us.
You're welcome, and thank you everyone for your time.